What's up, guys? I am psychocadi, and first off, I've got to apologize. I said I'd have this video up yesterday, but I had some technical difficulties with my GoPro. My wife had to go to bed early, and I didn't want to be making a bunch of noise and get beat up because I'm a big guy and she's a little woman. That's just embarrassing as shit. So today I'm gonna go through and show you how I put custom voices on my Taranis Q X7. This radio is pretty freaking amazing. When I first got into the hobby, I went down to the local hobby shop, started asking questions and asking about the Taranis, and it was the X9D then. The vets there were like, oh, no, you want Spectrum. Taranis is just too hard to learn. It's very difficult. And I was like, all the quad guys on YouTube use it. Oh, you don't want to mess with that. Get Spectrum. I said, you know what? I see all these guys on YouTube with them. They're doing all this cool shit. That's the one I want, and that's the one I got. I actually got the Q X7 instead of the X9D, which most of the pro guys are using, and I haven't looked back. It's actually not that hard once you know what you're doing just a little bit. It can seem a little daunting because there are so many switches and different pages of crap. We don't even know what it is yet, but it's really not that hard. It's pretty simple. Putting voices on there, which we're going to go through today, is really quite simple, easy to do. Can't be any easier. Some of the videos on the X9D and X9D Plus, those guys have been flying with those radios for a long time, so they use some phrases and things that might be a little off-putting for us new guys that don't know what we're doing just yet. So I'm just going to break it down real simple for you. You're going to need, first off, to figure out what you're going to put on your radio. You can do pretty much anything. You can record your own voice, get your wife to record her voice, kids, whatever. You can use text-to-speech software from the internet where you just go onto a website and you type in what you want and it'll spit out an MP4 or MP3 file in the voice that you want. Australian accent, American accent, British accent, Japanese, Chinese, Pekingese, whatever. You can do it that way, or you can just download files that you like, say from wherever, some website. That's what I did. I wanted to have Call of Duty stuff on mine originally, so I just searched for Call of Duty sound file dumps or something of that nature, found a bunch of them, picked some that I like, converted them like I'm going to show you how to do, put them on my radio, and boom, there I was, ready to rock and roll with all the switches that I had. But they're a little bit loud and obnoxious and long, so I pulled them back off and just went with a straight amber voice pack because it's pretty simple and straightforward and easy listening. And then I just have a couple of switches that say some really custom things that I like. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you what you need and what you've got to do to get those custom sounds on your radio. The Amber Pack's pretty simple. You download it, you put it on your SD card, just like you did when you updated your firmware. If you haven't updated your firmware yet, I'll have a video also on that. And I'm also going to have one on splash screens, how to do that. I'm going to change mine up a little bit. I made it a little bit cooler. So look forward to that. So first thing that you're going to do is you're going to need a program called, if you don't have one already, you're going to need a program called, here we go. We're going to need a program called Audacity. You can find it at audacityteam.org. Basically, it's just a recording and editing software for audio, and you can convert files with it and things like that. Most files you're going to find online are MP3 format because they're just a smaller size and they still have great sound quality and that kind of thing, but you've got to convert it to a WAV file. Audacity will allow you to do that. I'm going to put a link up for that. And then we're just going to go ahead and pick a sound. We're going to put this sound on my radio so that we'll have something, a way to show you what I did and how I did it and that kind of thing. So let's just, let's see. We've already got some sounds pulled up here on freesound.org. This is just a website that has all kinds of user uploaded sounds that you can choose from. You can get crickets, you can get clapping, you can get talking, glass breaking, fire sounds, crickets, fat ladies farting. Anything you want is here. Somebody's recorded and uploaded it. They have different versions you can get with attribution. If you use it, you just say, hey, can I, or I got this from so-and-so, or non-commercial only, where you can't resell it. Like if you're a rapper and you need some sounds for something, you can't resell the sound. Creative Commons, pretty much free. Sampling is just samples of stuff. So let's pick one of these sounds here. Let's see. We're going to scroll down a little bit. And this one here is MP3. Let's see what that sounds like. Maybe we'll use that. right, so that's that. Let's see. This one's also an MP3. Let's see what that sounds like. That's pretty wild. Let's see. What else do we have? Is this an MP3? What about this one? Let's try this one. I like that. It's pretty distinct, so you'll know that it is what it is when I download it. This is an MP3 file. So let me log in here. I've got all my stuff saved, so I've got to, no, I've got to get rid of this. So we're going to go ahead and download this. I actually have a folder just for my Taranis stuff over here that I download everything to. So we're just going to download it to that folder so we know exactly where it's at. We're going to right click, save link as. Let's go desktop Taranis. We're going to call this, since it's a little bit of dubstep, we'll just call it D-Step. I believe you get 8 characters in your WAV file for the Taranis. You can only name stuff that you put on your radio up to 8 characters plus .wav. I believe that's right. If it's not, I'll put, the correct thing up here in just a second. All right, so let's go over here to our Taranis folder. Oh, it's over here now. What the hell, Bobby? All right, we've got our Taranis folder. Do we have one called D-Step? There it is. All right, there's our D-Step file. Now, what we've got to do is, I've already got Audacity here. And we're just going to open that up, pull that over here, and we're going to just drag that D-Step up into our Audacity here. We'll close that out, and we're going to open that up. So what we have here is a sound file that we downloaded, and it's in stereo because we have 2 tracks here. First thing we want to do is, our Taranis only has 1 speaker, so it's mono. We're going to change this to a mono track. We go up here to tracks. We're going to go stereo track to mono. It's still the same track. All right. And then we're going to go down here to project rate. We want to make this 16,000. And then we're going to go up here to this little tab right next to the name of our track. And we're going to open that up. We see we're at mono. This is a waveform. We're going to format this to 16-bit PCM. Say your track is just a little bit too long. Maybe you just want just a few words at the beginning or at the end. All you got to do is go where you want to end it, say, and drag it to the right. Now, all I'm going to do is hit delete, and everything in the dark gray will disappear. And now you have your short track. Say that you then listen to it, and you've actually cut off that last word. Oh crap, what do? Just hit Control-Z, and you have your full track back. Say you want to cut off the stuff from the front, same thing. Hit your left mouse button, drag it to the front. Boom, there you go. So we're going to hit Control-Z. We're just going to go ahead and use all this. Once we've got our 16 and 16, we go up here to File. We're going to export this audio. We hit Export Audio. It's already a WAV file, so that's good. We're still at D-Step. We're going to change that because we're going to put that right back into our Taranis folder so we know where it's at. Let's just change that to C-Step. All right. So if this were an MP3, it would highlight MP3 over here, or if it's an Apple thing, it'd say this one, or it'd be Windows Media, or whichever that the file originally is would be here. But we need to change that file to save, or at the save as type. We're going to change it no matter what it says here to WAV 16-bit PCM. Once we do that, just hit save. Now this little box here is going to pop up. Sometimes these will be populated with different stuff if you're using a file that has all the metadata entered, which would, usually if you're listening to, say, an MP3 on the radio or what have you, it'll tell you the song title and all that good stuff. Sometimes this will be populated. If it is, just hit clear. We don't need all that. And then we just hit OK. And now it's going to go into our Taranis folder. We'll just close this out. We're not even going to save the changes on that. We're going to look over here in our Taranis folder, and we have our D step and our C step. Next thing we need to do is put it onto our Taranis. So here we have our Taranis, and what we're going to do is we're going to put it into bootloader mode. I had a little bit of difficulty with it because when I first started, let me move this mic over here. When I first started trying to get into bootloader mode, I'd want to push these in and push that button and hold it. And that would just basically turn the radio on, or it wouldn't nothing happen. So that's not how you do it. What you've got to do is just a quick movement. Click them in and push down all at the same time, real quick. Now you're in bootloader mode. You have your open firmware, or write firmware, restore EEPROM, exit, or plug in a USB cable, which is what we're going to do. We're going to plug in our USB cable. Oh, I think I have it upside down. Just a moment. There we go. Now we're connected to our USB cable, and we're going to switch back to our computer screen. Quit making all that noise. All right, here we go. Now here's our Taranis folder. Let's just put that here for a second. We're going to open up the QXD memory card here. Boom, boom. And now we have EEPROM, firmware, screenshot, script, sounds. Sounds is where we want to be. Now, I've deleted all the extra languages that I don't use. So we just have English. And we're just going to, these are all the files from the Amber voice pack that are on here that I could use for anything. And my Call of Duty stuff. And what we're going to do is we're going to open up our we're going to move this over just a hair, and we're going to open up our Taranis folder as well. Where did our Taranis folder go? There it is. We're going to open it up as well. We're going to move it here. And C step, if you'll remember, is our file that we converted to the way we wanted it. We're going to just take that and drag it over here to our Taranis folder, or not our Taranis folder, our Taranis SD card, and drop it. And we're going to replace the file in this location. I don't know why. From yesterday. Anyways, there we go. Now we have our C step in there with all of our other sounds. And we're pretty much done there. So what we're going to do is we're going to eject our QXD, our SD card. QX7. We're going to eject it. And now it's safe to unplug. And now it's safe to unplug. Now we can just go down to exit and it will reboot. Hit enter there. Now once it's rebooted, we're going to hit this menu button here in the center, the 3 dashes. It's going to bring us up to our models page. So from the models page, you can either hit page until you get to the special functions page, or you can hit page and hold it, and it will go backwards. Now we're at the special functions page. Just go down to an open slot down here, and we're going to hit enter. And then we're going to choose this switch here. Just by flipping one of these switches, as you can see, it'll choose that switch for whatever. We're going to use this switch here down to the middle. So now that we have that switch, that's the one that we want to use for the function that we're doing, the special function that we're doing. We can hit enter, scroll over, hit enter, and just find what we want to do. Now there are all these different options you can do. You can set your volume. You can play a sound like just a beep basically with these, or play track, because that's what we're going to do right there. We want to play one of the tracks, the track that we created earlier, once we hit that switch there. So we're going to hit enter. Then we're going to scroll over to this one, and we're going to scroll down till we see that C step that we created earlier. We keep scrolling. This is all of our files that were in our Taranis SD card that we were looking at on the computer a moment ago. We go down and we see our C step there. We're going to hit enter. Now, when we flick our switch to the middle position, it'll play our song. Now, when it plays this song, it's going to play it all the way through to the end. So that's why we cut out what we don't want of whatever track we're working with. As we did earlier in the Audacity program, it'll just keep playing until it's over with. And that's pretty much it. All these switches are set up that way. If you look here, my SF switch plays ARM. This is the SF switch. You can see it get darker there, meaning it's in use. All systems check out, ready for deployment. UAV online. Or our mode switch. Horizon. Acro. Horizon. Angle. Pretty simple stuff. So that's pretty much it for this video. The next video will be the splash screen. If you have any questions or anything, just put them in the comments below. You can hit me up at myname@gmail.com and I'll shoot you an email back. However you want to get in touch with me, I can help you out with a lot of things. Then all you have to do is exit out of all this and you're good to go. That's just ridiculously long. Next, I'm going to put a volume switch on this bad boy because